Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today I have a very serious video for you. Today we're talking about how a pool noodle killed one of my crested geckos. I'm making this video kind of as a precaution and a warning to you if you are using pool noodles. I'm going to be sharing with you some things that you can do to make your pool noodles safer and the story of what happened to my gecko. But let's jump right into it. So when I'm talking about pool noodles, I'm talking about your typical little floaty things that kids use in the pool. They usually use them to float around with or to beat each other with. Just like the little pool worms. You can usually pick them up at your local Dollar Tree or your Walmart for $1 a piece. And the people in the gecko community, they like to use them either like the black ones you get from a hardware store or like the pool noodles that you get from like Walmart. And you cut them up to the size of your tank and then you can push them in there and they stay against the walls if you cut them to the right size. And basically they're like a fake kind of stick that the geckos can climb on. And the really nice thing about pool noodles is, one, obviously you can cut them to any size you want. They're also very light and very bendable, so if they did fall and if they hit your gecko, it's not going to hurt them at all. It's very, very light material. It's just like foamy little plastic. And you can also clean them extremely easily. They wipe off and clean very well. So there's a lot of pluses to using them. And just because this happened to my gecko, I'm not saying that you should stop using pool noodles. I'm not going to stop using pool noodles. I'm just going to take some extra precautions to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I know that this is partly my fault because originally I didn't think it was an important idea to, make a slit in the pool noodle or cut some holes in it so they could get out or anything like that, because 99.9% of the time it's going to be pushed up against the sides of the tank where the hole inside of the pool noodle is covered. And the only way that the hole would ever be exposed is if it fell. So I didn't think it was really necessary to where I had to cut a slit down in it or I had to plug off the ends or anything like that, because I thought, hey, this is going to be blocked by the tank anyway. So, this is partly my fault for not taking the necessary precautions and cutting a slit down the pool noodle. But I'm recommending that if you do have pool noodles, you either cut a slit, you cut some holes, or like what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the pool noodles and I'm going to cut them in half. They'll still work the same. It'll still be great and it'll still be easy to clean. It's just that there won't be any hole in the middle to where a gecko can get inside of it. Now, if you're wondering how big the hole is in the pool noodle that I'm using, it's about 1 inch in diameter. I'm using small little pool noodles. You can get bigger ones where the hole is bigger in the inside, but the ones I was using, the hole is only about 1 inch in diameter, so that's just something to keep in mind. Your average toilet paper or paper towel roll, which is also something I use, is a little bit more than 1.5 inches in diameter. And I've never had a gecko get stuck in one of those. So I'm thinking it has to do with the size of the hole is why she got stuck in the first place. Now some of you might be wondering how I didn't notice her stuck inside this pool noodle. And unfortunately the day that this happened, I'm at work from 10 in the morning till about 7 at night. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to obviously monitor my geckos when I'm at work. But how I'm guessing this happened, because I had checked on her the morning that this happened. I had checked on her lay box to make sure it was moist enough and everything. And she was fine. Her pool noodle was still intact, still in the right place. And then when I came home from work and I was feeding, that's when I saw that this had happened. So what actually had happened is her pool noodle had fell down. And I'm guessing that sometime from when I went to work and between the time that the pool noodle fell down, for some reason she wanted to climb inside of the pool noodle hole. Now Carrie was a pretty large gecko. She is a female. She's going to be breeding this year, so she's getting pretty plump. So 1 inch in diameter hole is going to be extremely tight for her. Now, there's only 2 reasons I could come up with as to why she would try and fit inside of this hole. One, she just simply didn't understand that this hole was going to be too tight for her to get out of. Or 2, something had spooked her and she decided to, rocket into this hole. But either way, you would think that she would not go far enough to where she gets stuck in the hole and can't breathe. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. You would hope that your animals would be smarter than that, especially, since crested geckos live in the wild perfectly fine. So what I'm actually guessing happened is the fact that she knocked down her noodle. For some reason or other, she went inside of the noodle. She couldn't get out, and she got stuck in there and suffocated. That's my guess as to what happened and why she died. Now, I'm going to show you guys some pictures. They aren't very graphic, but if you don't want to see it, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen right now. You should pause the video and skip ahead if you do not want to see the pictures. Okay, so the rest of you who do want to see the pictures, now, you might be wondering, why am I taking pictures of this and not trying to get her out of the noodle? Well, when I had picked her up originally right out of the noodle, the first thing I did was pull on her tail and put my finger right by her foot, because I knew if she was struggling to get out of the noodle, she would grab my little finger and, try and backpedal on it, but there was no movement, so I had pretty much already guessed that she was dead. You can see from this angle that her entire body is taking up the entire whole of the pool noodle. And you know, when I came home and I saw this, I was just shocked. I was like, I pretty much already had guessed what happened when I saw that she was stuck in her pool noodle. And when I went to check it out, I cut her out of the pool noodle. And as you can see, this is what she looked like when I cut her out. You can see that it looks like she came out of a can. So she was really packed in there. And from my guess is, which is the really sad part about this is, when something dies, it usually gets stiff if it's been there for a long time. She was like still soft and all warm. So I'm guessing that she had died probably within a couple hours of me getting home from work, which is the really sad part, because if I had just came home, or if this had happened a little bit later, I would have definitely noticed and I would have been able to help her out. But this is just really bad timing. This made me really sad that this happened, because she was a big part of my project for Hellboy, and she was also one of my nicest females. And to just have her grow up from a little hatchling till now really sucked. So I was extremely salty about this when this happened. You know, it's going to be hard. There's not many geckos that I see that are this nice females like this anyway, that hit the market, that are reasonably priced. You know, there's no way I'm going to spend, you know, $500 or $600 on another female like this. So this is just a really big loss for me, and I'm really kind of upset that it happened like this, where she died inside of a pool noodle. Maybe if she was like of old age or something, I would understand, but she was just so young, and to die in a pool noodle like that is not fun. So, like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be cutting all my pool noodles in half now. This is a really unfortunate experience, so hopefully if you're using pool noodles, you'll take my advice and cut some slits in them, some holes in them, or cut them in half or something, because trust me, you do not want to come home and find your gecko shoved inside of a pool noodle. I wanted to make this video so you guys know what happened to Carrie. I'm really sad that I'm not going to be able to put her with Hellboy this year. I was really looking forward to that. Anyway, if you're using pool noodles, please do something to prevent your gecko from getting stuck inside of them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back to my regularly scheduled videos next week.